Hi viewers, hi subscribers, we're cooking together nice lasagna. We're gonna keep our process in sequence so we can follow it later. We're gonna make the meat sauce with the vegetable, saute our mushroom, then assemble the lasagna and put it in the oven. Let's see the ingredients. 350 gram white lasagna, oven ready. 1 pound diced pepper, yellow, orange and green. We reserve a little bit for the garnish. Half a pound diced onion, 2 pound minced meat, 10% fat, 4 ounce sliced mushroom, 400 gram diced provolone cheese. For our bechamel, we need 1 ounce vegetable oil, 2 ounce butter, 8 cups of milk, 4 tablespoons all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon white pepper, 1 teaspoon nutmeg. And for our meat sauce, we need 1 tablespoon oregano, 1 teaspoon thyme, 1 teaspoon black pepper, 1 teaspoon salt. We need 1 teaspoon minced garlic, 1 tablespoon tomato paste, and 1 bay leaf. 500 gram cream cottage cheese, 5 tablespoons all-purpose flour. We start with 1 ounce of oil. I'm gonna add my onion. Give it a spin. Because we start with a hot pan, some of our onions start losing colors, and that's what we want. Very high heat on this technique so we can finish our browning of the ground beef quicker. I'm gonna add my 2 pound minced beef, and I start distributing my ground beef so all the ground beef will be browned. On this time I'm gonna add my oregano, salt and black pepper and the thyme all together on the ground beef and mix it in. So I need my both hands in this process to make sure I'm moving my beef around, at the same time mixing my spices in the beef. We're browning the beef and expanding the flavor of the herb and the spices by sauteing them. We'll keep mixing in this fashion for another 10 minutes, then it will be ready. I'm gonna add my bay leaf right in the tomato sauce. Then we remember it's very important to fish it out. We're gonna adjust the salt and the black pepper. We can see clearly that it's drying out. It's time to add our yellow, orange and green pepper. Let's add a nice color into our beef. We'll let it combine the flavor on low heat for another 5 minutes, then we turn it off. Now we're gonna start our bechamel sauce. 1 ounce oil, we got 2 ounce butter, we got our whisk handy, and we're gonna add our big 3 tablespoon flour. Start mixing this in, and we have to remember at this time our heat on low until we melt everything in. So 5 tablespoons of flour. Our butter is not bubbly. I want it just barely melted. It's a white roux. I'm gonna add my white pepper, nutmeg and the salt. We start adding our 8 cups of milk. Let's say we're gonna add 2 at a time and mix with our whisk. That's easier for us. I prefer the hand whisk because I got more control in what I'm mixing and what speed. As we watch in our previous videos, the moment it's become thick, we add the other quantity of the milk and so on. I'm looking on the edges of the pot for any leftover flour and incorporate it into my bechamel. If we think we want to stretch our sauce, we can add more milk. Now I need to stretch it. I add cup number 9. I'm gonna add some provolone cheese in it. So I'm waiting for the bechamel to boil a little bit. I'm gonna add 200 gram of my provolone cheese cube and leave the rest to garnish it on top, and continue stirring until it melted down. It will take like 3 minutes, then we'll be ready. We can look at it, see it's already melting inside the whisk, which will help distributing the flavor all over our sauce and prevent the provolone from sticking to the bottom of the sauce. And this is extreme low heat temperature. So this is ready. I'm gonna keep stirring, but I'll turn off the heat. Tiny bit of oil. All the mushroom, we'll try to put it in thin layer in the fry pan. As we see our mushroom start heating up, I'm gonna add a tiny bit of salt. If you notice, I salted everything individually in my dish, so the combination will be just right. We got our mushroom shrinking, big deal. We're gonna turn off the heat and start assembling our lasagna. We're gonna start by adding bechamel sauce at the bottom, enough to have some liquid at the bottom like so. I start with the first layer of lasagna. I'm gonna overlap them little bit. Now I'm gonna add a bit of the bechamel. Our bechamel sauce is very weak because we need all this liquid for our lasagna, because the ratio of the water into this recipe to the meat should be 1/3 meat sauce, 2/3 liquid. So we're gonna get our liquid from the bechamel. It's easier this way. Fair amount of meat sauce in the first layer, and then we add 1 layer of lasagna. And now I'm gonna add cottage cheese all over. This will add creamy flavor into my lasagna plate. And we have to be careful by distributing our cottage cheese. We're not gonna worry about the edges, because when the heat goes through it, it will go through the lasagna to the edges. You see the tomato sauce already attached into the cheese, make it rosé color, all flavors. We added our lasagna this way. Next layer, we're gonna add it this way. So it will be more substantial and even in all the areas. One layer will carry the other layer. Now we'll add some more bechamel sauce. I grabbed the whole bechamel sauce, so I'm gonna throw it in very even way. Simple, very good for the lasagna to get the liquid all over. I'm gonna add cottage cheese. Can push a tiny bit of the sauce. The rest of the cottage goes in. Now the last layer of the lasagna. I'm gonna add more bechamel. Now I have my sliced mushroom to go on the top. Add a nice flavor. It's like a mild meat flavor, but it's not meat at all. And I got our provolone, the rest of it, 200-gram provolone goes on the top too. And the final touch, I'm gonna add my yellow, orange and green pepper on the top. This lasagna will go in the oven for half an hour at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And to have it really nice and moist, I'm gonna cover it with aluminum foil. And then we got to remove the aluminum foil and put it under the broiler. We got to push it so it wouldn't attach all this yummy ingredients into the aluminum foil, and we lose them. Simple touch like so. After half an hour, I get it out of the oven. It's bubbling hot. I'm gonna put one of these 2 lasagna under the broiler for 5 minutes, then it's ready. I got the lasagna ready. One I put it under the broiler and the other one I left it for later use. Here we go, meat lasagna with white sauce, mushroom, green pepper and provolone cheese. We're gonna cut one piece and see how it's done. My knife goes through, no trouble. We can section it. The only things on the top layer where it's crunchy, we have to pay attention. Got the lasagna here next to some lettuce and tomato. It's soft, al dente, no trouble in cutting it. Meat lasagna with vegetable and provolone cheese, a new dish by Create Cooking. I hope you like it. Please follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe, Pass your comment. Chef Asak. Bye bye.